drivers, start your engines.
And there you have it. Engines coming to life down on pit lane. 16 drivers. Eric here in the Indy Pro 2000 category. Like I said, a night to sleep on it. USF 2000 ran both races yesterday. No time to think. Debrief, get back on the racetrack. These guys here at the second level of the road to Indy. Now, of course, that night, going over all the data. Good day, bad day yesterday, whatever it may be. Now it's time to go back to work.
Well, this race yesterday was even just a little bit more chaotic than the USF 2000 in both races. You know, we had some yellow flags in all three races yesterday, but really this race just couldn't seem like you could get into a rhythm flow until really about halfway through this race. Then we only got a couple of green flag laps at the end.
Maybe the best thing for these drivers here is it's going to be a dry racetrack. One of the big things yesterday, I talked to the guys, we had that light sprinkle.
Changing conditions.
Yeah, on the opening lap, the light sprinkle. I talked to Braden Eves, and he said, I came down into 5. You know, I got the sprinkle on my visor. I know it's probably going to be a little slippery, but I'm in the middle of the pack. We're all literally diving into the corner, you know, trying to modulate our brakes. He goes, I was fully locked up. It was a crazy start for sure. Today, of course, cooler temperatures, but a dry racetrack.
You know, absolutely. And, you know, with the sunlight now today, obviously there's going to be a little bit of, you know, just typical morning, you know, humidity here in Wisconsin. But green and gold on the front row just seems like it fits here for Wisconsin.
You know what? I love that. Is it?
And that's Tony DeZinno for that one.
Tony DeZinno, Steve Wittig talking about green and gold up front. Josh Green, Reese Gold, go pack is what I said to him, right? It's awesome to have that here in Wisconsin. 2 young drivers, though. Again, both race winners already this year, Eric. This could be a really interesting day.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, Reese Gold, you know, kind of had one of those momentum races yesterday where he was really kind of up and down, you know, throughout the field and just – you know, made a mistake early in the going and tried to rebound from that.
I talked to Reese afterwards, and he just said really it was a mental thing. He had to get back. He had to get his mind back into it. Start on the pole position. You expect to lead laps. You expect to be in the front pack. When you go off like that, he literally said it took me a couple laps to get my mind back into it because I was so frustrated having gone off the racetrack and lost that lead. The pole here, you know, you're going to be in the fight. And we talked mental. The mental game a lot yesterday, and that was one thing Reese was totally honest with. He said, I just need to get back into it. Once I got back going, he goes, I hate it, but it's a racer term. I just need a couple more laps. Because a couple more laps, I think he probably would have been on the podium. The car was that good.
He had plenty of speed in that second half. Once we got that last restart, he was certainly moving his way through the field and had a couple of good passing opportunities. I just think he ran out of time.
That's it. That's all it was. And listen, to be real, when that happens and you let a guy like Louis Foster pull away, you know you're fighting for second, you're fighting for third. Josh Green jumped into second place, did a great job. In the end, they were all fighting for third spot. We had a great battle there. But with the quality of the field here right now, when you have that kind of an issue, we've seen Reese do it, pull away. You can't let the guys in this field have open racetrack because if they get it, they're gone, especially here at Road America.
Well, we talked a lot about, you know, throughout the weekend about carrying that extra weight of the championship in the back of your mind. You can only put it off so long before it becomes to just continue to weigh on your mind. And you got to think that, you know, part of Reese's frustration, I think the anxiety just to get back into his head or out of his head more than anything was the fact that the guy I'm racing for the championship, he's pulling away from me.
Yeah.
And, you know, and you could see him, you know, on that last restart, try to get, you know, 2 or 3 cars right away on that restart and just try to work his way through the traffic and just to try to minimize the damage, so to speak. And, you know, you could clearly see that there were a couple of moments where he almost made a pass that was really questionable, but he thought better of it and backed out before he made the mistake. He learned from his mistake early in the race. And that's the adaptability you want these drivers to have.
And if it was anybody else out front, he may have calmed down, but it was Louis Foster who's won the last 2 races, right? So all of a sudden he's getting super excited about that. Drivers working their way out of turn number 14 right now, lining them up nicely here. Again, 16 drivers here in Indy Pro 2000. Rob Howden alongside the voice of Road America, Eric Miller. We're getting ready to roll here right now. And again, big start here for Josh Green. Getting ready to get things underway. Green is getting ready to punch off, and we're underway. Green. Josh Green will lead them down into turn number 1. We're underway 3 wide. Coming down into turn number 1. 3, maybe 4 wide. Couple drivers looking to the inside. Green's going to take the lead through the corner. But Eves with a great start. Braden Eves from the second row, working his way down into the second spot. thus far clean down into turn number 3 as we're underway with racing here in the Indy Pro 2000 category. Strong start there for Josh Green. And Eric, through 1, through 2, through 3. Green with about 3 car lengths heading down to turn 4 and 5. That's all he could have asked for on the opening circuit.
And Jack William Miller in that red number 40 car doing the same thing he did yesterday, trying to make a little bit of hay while the sun shines, moving on the outside, locks up the left front on the outside, but Jack William Miller trying to come to the front.
Indeed, opening lap pretty clean here for Josh Green. And not surprising, the veteran Braden Eves, a little defensive, running the inside line down into turn number 5, holds that spot. You can see a good start here as well for Yuvan Sundaramurthy. I think he may be up to P3 right now. Yuvan for Pabst Racing up into the 3rd position. Oh, thinking about 3 wide coming down into turn number 8. And you talked about Miller getting aggressive, trying to go around the outside there, battling it out now, I believe, with either Brakacic or I think that might actually be Eves. Miller on the move right now. He was in the booth with us yesterday. This kid's on the move working forward.
You can kind of see that fire in his eyes yesterday when he said, we got a better starting position in race 2, and we're going to try to make that work for us. And it looked like having a little bit of a hard time getting around Kaminsky there earlier, but trying to work through traffic is early in the going when the field is so bunched up like this. You almost want him to go single file a little bit here just to kind of settle down, get into a good rhythm. This is 15 laps. It kind of feels like a short race, but this is a really long race for these cars.
Yeah, they're going to be in the car for a long time. Exactly that. 15 laps here at Road America is a long stint. Reese Gold, who started on the outside of the front row, sliding back into P4, are behind now Yuvan Sundaramurthy. He's trying to set things up. Miller with a great drive, though, up into the 5th position. Jack William Miller started 7th, get 2 spots on the opening lap. Here is your lineup. Josh Green, P1. Braden Eves, 2nd. Yuvan Sundaramurthy, 3rd. Gold, 4th. Miller, 5th. Jordan Missig up into the 6th spot. Colin Kaminsky in 7th. So 3 Pabst drivers in the top 7 right now. Kiko Porter runs 8th. Nolan Siegel 9th. And Jonathan Brown rounding out your top 10. Anytime we do this, Eric, you hold your breath for the opening lap. You hope they get through cleanly, and we're underway. 14 laps to go.
Well, absolutely, but you can't really make those mental mistakes on lap 2 either. It's still early. You got a couple of side-by-side battles in the back of the pack, but the field kind of starting to settle into a rhythm now, and this is really what we didn't get to see yesterday. Battle for the lead out front now. Eves looks to the outside to driver's right, maybe try the crossover on Green into 5.
Yeah, I like Braden Eves putting all the pressure here on Josh Green. Inside, outside, look to the inside of turn number 5. Josh comes across to the inside of turn number 6. Big wide entry to that corner for Eves, making sure he fills the mirrors. And again, Eves, a driver dying for a race win. Same thing with Yuvan Sundaramurthy. Josh Green's already got a win on the season, would like another one, but Braden Eves dying for that victory, the first one of 2022.
Well, absolutely, but you know that Sundaramurthy's had a horrible weekend. Electronic issues all day Friday, into the early qualifying session on yesterday morning, so they're trying to just kind of chase a little bit of demons out of that car for Pabst Racing, but it's a local team, and obviously there's a little bit of pressure there on that young man.
You know, Eric, you and I can talk about what we see on the racetrack, but we can't talk about being behind the wheel. The guy who's joining us here in the booth right now has already had some success here. Fire that mic on there. Michael D'Orlando joining us here for Cape Motorsports. Michael, you're the point leader. You got a race win yesterday. What was it like being behind the wheel here at Road America?
Oh, I mean, obviously I love this track. Road America is a fantastic place. 4 miles of just pure speed and happiness.
I like that.
Well, the grin kind of says it all, too.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I had a pretty good weekend myself, other than an incident in race 1 that, could have, stopped a race weekend sweep, but ended up getting 2 poles and a win. And keeping my name back up on the top of that. Oh, and I guess that's Braden going around the outside.
Yeah, Braden
right?
Eves around the outside right there. Braden Eves goes to P1, the big drag down into turn number 1. Of course, that long front straightaway. Eves now to the lead for the first time on the weekend. The Jay Howard driver development pilot taking the lead from Green. Everybody slotting back in. And Eric, earlier, we're trying to talk to Michael, but they're racing on us here right now.
Yeah, absolutely. But Michael kind of did the same thing that Reese Gold did in race 1. I mean, you kind of made a little bit of a mental mistake in race 1. How do you get back in that mindset? You're in the moment. You're frustrated. You just got to go head down, elbows up at that point.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you can continue to keep going and going and going, and then if you keep trying the same move and over and over again, then at some point you're just gonna have to change. And I mean, I ended up trying to change, and either way, my race just didn't work out. But you know what? You learn. You try to forget what happened in the past one, move on, and get your brain back into, this next one's coming up. Race mode is happening again, and
yeah, every race is a fresh start, right?
It's always a fresh start. If you just keep your mind back in the past, then you're not just going to go forward and do the best you can in the next race.
Let's talk a little bit about what these drivers are dealing with right now. USF 2000, of course, runs a lot of early morning races like this. Cooler temperatures. IndyCar's been out there. What do you think these guys are dealing with grip-wise right now? Is it a lot less than it was earlier in the weekend?
I'd actually say there's a lot more. The cars,
because of IndyCar.
Yeah, well, because of IndyCar, and it's a cooler temper now. So the tires and the motor run at a better optimal temperature when they're out there. So I bet you they're running some pretty good lap times right now.
There you go. Some insight right now from Michael D. Orlando for Cape Motorsports. Your point leader in the Cooper Tires USF 2000 Championship. And speaking of USF 2000, the driver up front, a former champion in that category. And a great run here for Braden Eves at New Albany, Ohio for J. Howard Driver Development. Here's a guy, Eric, right now that really needs a win. Coming in here right now, P6 in points. He's 63 markers back of your leader, Louis Foster. He needs a big result right now, performing at his best.
And again, he's not had a season which is typically what we see for Braden Eves. It's been a little bit of an up and down, and probably not quite the runs that would be atypical for him. So being out front here, we talked all weekend long about momentum, right?
Yep.
But we also talked a lot about building confidence, not only confidence in yourself, but the confidence in the car and your team's confidence in you. And that's big for Braden Eves right now. He's got to build that back up. He's been struggling with that right now.
I think one of the biggest things for Braden was the fact, remember, he had that incident back in 2020 at Indianapolis Motor Speedway, a big wreck there. But, he was with Jay Howard earlier in his career, moved in with Cape Motorsports when he came into USF 2000, and, of course, with his exclusive Autosport for a couple of years. A new team to start the season off. Who do you have as teammates? Do you blend with them at all? He and Salvador de Alba seem to have a really good mix, a really good dialogue. So for Eves to get up front here right now, this is mid-season Braden Eves, where he steps up, has good speed. A win here would really, I think, vault him forward. And Michael, you can talk about it. We come to Road America. You know how much I know how much you love this racetrack. But let's just talk about the fact, mid-season, how crucial is it to have a good Road America? When you're good here, kind of set yourself off to Mid-Ohio and Toronto.
Oh, for sure. I mean, there's always a halfway turning point.
Yeah.
And for me, I think that started in Lucas Oil. But there's everything kind of sorts itself out. So there'll be a whole bunch of drivers that are quick at tracks like St. Petersburg, Barber, and Indianapolis Motor Speedway. But when you get into the thick of the season, people start, fumbling. They start making mistakes. And then if you just become the most consistent driver and end up doing well at tracks like Road America, Mid-Ohio, it really gets you on a good momentum.
And you got to be that guy that doesn't make the mistake, right? Because sooner or later, some people maybe about, fifth or sixth in the points, they're starting to feel the stress, right? I got to have a good result. You being up front, you came in with the point lead after that great run at the Freedom 75. A little more calmness, right? You're like, I'll let them all make mistakes. I'll keep pushing. You had the issue in race number 1. To come back in race number 2 like you did was big, I think, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Well done. Eves leading, Green second, Miller, Gold, Sudner, Murthy, your top 5. Siegel now runs in 6th, Kaminsky 7th. Anam Ahmed, Eric, started 16th. He split the difference already. 8th position for Anam. Kiko Porto runs in 9th, and Louis Foster, yesterday's winner and point leader, up to the 10th position.
And we knew Ahmed was going to be fast. We're only a third of the way through this. 15 laps the distance here on this Sunday morning for Indy Pro. So he's made it halfway in 4 laps. We know he's got the speed to get to the front. We know he's just as fast as Green and Gold. So this is going to be interesting. But how about Jack William Miller, 3rd now? Bottom step of the podium as we run in 5th.
Well, we brought him here into the booth yesterday, gave him a different viewpoint, and literally as he and I walked from where we were here down to Victory Lane, he said, man, that was I really enjoyed that. A totally different view for me to watch a race, and because I really think it's going to be a positive for me because I was able to look at the race so much differently.
It gives a little bit of a different perspective, as Michael's going to find out here, about how, just looking at the way that the race develops, and certainly you look at different racecraft and different techniques as well as, Braden Eves pulling away, but Jack Willie Miller now at the second through the kink.
Yeah, I'm looking at lap times. I want to see what Miller does coming back around here as well. A 2:06.4 last time by for Braden Eves. Look at this battle further back as well, and that is the fight, I believe, with I think further back with
Siegel.
Foster.
Yeah, it looks like
Foster,
Siegel's in
right?
that battle
Yep,
too. Yeah.
Yep, indeed. Good battling through Canada corner. You get that pass when you come out of turn number 8. You may not feel like it, but out of turn 8 gives you the pass down in Canada corner. All good right now up front. Let's see what the gap is. 1.9 seconds last time by for Braden Eves. And he'll come across the line. Let's check what he gets coming across. 2 seconds now. Miller, Reese Gold going at it here with Josh Green. So Green, the turn 3 motorsport driver, started on the pole position. Finished second yesterday. Look at the gaggle behind him right now. Sooner Murthy, Gold, Siegel, Ahmed, all scrapping. This is good for Ahmed. He wants that fight to be able to get himself back to the podium.
Well, absolutely. He's only 0.8 of a second behind Nolan Siegel last time through, and the more that those guys fight, the more it's going to open up an opportunity to get to them. How often, Michael, do you find yourself like just you're sitting second or third, and you see the lead 2 battling, you're like you're chomping at the bit to get up there, but you know that you've got to be patient, especially in a long race like this.
Oh yeah, for a race on a 4-mile track with 15 laps, you got to be patient, and obviously. I mean, Jack's doing a fantastic job getting through the field, and he's sitting in a perfect spot to just keep attacking Braden and keeping going. But, I mean, it's never over until the end, until that checkered flag waves. You just keep pushing, you keep going. Because, you know what, something might happen, a yellow comes out, or whatever. You might just fall into your lap sometime.
Indeed, that if you get a yellow flag, kind of resets everything. You got to keep pushing. You got to keep digging. And look at this gap, this battle we have right now. So we go to green. We all go all the way back to Foster. So it's third back to 10th, all separated by about 3 seconds. Green third, Gold, Sooner Murthy, Siegel, Ahmed, Kaminsky, Pardo, and Foster, all in that pack that we're seeing now down into Kettle Bottoms.
We're approaching the halfway mark next time through. But Braden Eves, that gap was 2 seconds.
There's a good pass right there. The move in, I believe, for the third spot. Good scrap here further back. Josh Green trying to hold on. He comes in here having moved up to 5th in points, just 51 markers back after a good run yesterday. Qualified on pole. Bonus point there. Look at the leaders pulling away, though. A 2-second lead for Eves over Miller. Miller 2 seconds ahead of Josh Green as well last time by.
Gap expands by about 1/10 of a second, 2.12 back to Miller. And the gap to Green has grown considerably as well. So Jack Willie Miller kind of setting himself up 4 wide into turn 1 in the back of the pack.
I held my breath for a second there. That was Kaminsky going to the inside of turn number 1. And then we were 3-4 wide down into the corners. Driver's starting to get a bit aggressive. One of the things I'm interested in is watching Louis Foster come. Remember, he qualified back in the 12th spot. Point lead. And the cool thing is we've got Michael D'Orlando here, point leader in USF 2000. Michael, coming in with the point lead, as you did to start the weekend, how does that change your mindset? Is it still, I know you racers like to go, I'm just going to go for the race win, the championship's going to take care of itself. But in the back of your mind, you have to realize you have a cushion. Does it change your mindset when you're racing it all out there?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, we always want to go out there and go for the race win, and then sometimes it even trips you up because you got to remember that you're in the championship lead. You got to keep it consistent. And obviously we all make mistakes with that kind of thing where we'll end up being a little bit too aggressive or a little uneasy or what do you call it? Just you're not impatient. I mean,
yeah, that's it. You're trying to stay focused.
Yeah, you just gotta keep focused.
But when you put the visor down, you still want to win races. That's the thing, right? You want to be on the podium. I want to win races, right?
Yeah, especially when you got a fast car. I mean, it's like you go into the race and then end up like falling back or whatever. But you know you have a car that's capable of a win. It's hard. It's really hard to keep that emotion in check and be like, yeah, we need these like top 5, top 3 finishes.
Again, Eric, we talked about the road to Indy, what it's all about, right? Developing the drivers in the car, out of the car, social media, working with fans, whatever it may be. One of the things right there, patience, understanding championship strategy, not just race strategy, but you're thinking mid-season, hey, you know what? When I get to Portland on Labor Day weekend for our series finale, maybe what I did at Road America, maybe what Michael did having a great run yesterday coming back after the issue in race 1, maybe this was a turning point for him if he's able to win that championship.
Absolutely. So checking the balance of the lead here was 2.1 last time by, 2.3. So Braden Eves Still on the button, still trying to head down here, but Jack William Miller is still fighting away as well. He pulls ahead by another 0.3 of a second over Reese Gold as well. Reese Gold up around Green in the third.
Well, I'll tell you this right now, and I know Michael will reiterate this because Braden Eves, of course, is we've seen what he's done over the last number of years on the road to Indy, right? A champion of USF 2000. Braden Eves is a guy you don't want to give the lead to. Yeah, I don't think you got to go back. I think in his career, I don't know that he's ever given up a lead like this. He's the kind of guy that when he gets the bit in his teeth and goes up front, he's going to pull away. And you know this. Obviously, Braden's a tremendous driver. Ran for Cape Motorsports like you did, man. When you're up front like that, man, a guy like that, like yourself, you're not giving that lead up at all.
Oh, no. I mean, even Braden back in karting when we used to race together, it was just always, if you get out front and then if you're Braden or I or a few other drivers, it's super hard to just keep up. And then a driver like him will have a really good mindset when he's out there and just keep doing some consistent laps and just no need to completely keep pushing because you know what, he's gaining a tenth or two a lap on Jack every single time by, so he doesn't have to do anything crazy out there right now.
So I want to ask you that. So obviously consistent laps are key, right? He's 0.2 quicker than Jack William Miller last time by 2.3 seconds out. Are you looking at your dash? Every time you come by, he's doing 2:05.4s. Do you look at the dash on the wheel, like another 4, another 4? Do you look at that to make sure you're that consistent?
Oh, for sure. I mean, sometimes if you put together a lap and you have all the markers and brake points and throttle points all correct, you're doing the exact same lap. But every now and then you'll look down on the dash, so you're like, yeah, these are the laps that we're running. And then you'll get a radio in from your engineer and your mechanic and be like, yeah, this is where you stand with the rest of the pack. You're the fastest car on track right now, et cetera, et cetera. But it's honestly super satisfying when you do the exact same lap down to the 100th or 1,000th, and you just what was he running? 5.7.
2:05.7.
Yeah, just do 5 7s in a row. It feels great.
And 2.1 seconds up, his crew is telling him exactly what he's got. Lots of gap. The battle here further back is the one that's exciting. There's a side-by-side run there. Look at this fight to the inside. Big battle there further back in the pack. Eves out by 2.1. Louis Foster coming forward. Anam Ahmed coming forward. You wonder if they had potentially had a chat before the start of the race. Both those guys at the tail of the field. Did they sit down, you think, and talk about that, Eric?
Well, I would certainly think that if you've got someone that that you're matched pretty closely with as far as lap times and certainly from a performance standpoint, and I would imagine, Michael, you're going to do that with someone you trust too. There's some guys that you can race with, some that you kind of keep your distance a little bit, but if you know that you can work with somebody, even from another team, to move from the front to the back, to kind of work together a little bit, and then get the fight on at the end.
Oh, yeah. I mean, as drivers, we always have to have that little bit of respect. And if you know that both of you have the speed to work up to the front, you're not going to try and battle the whole time and just, dice it out for a 5th place when you have 2 top 3 cars. But, I mean, it gets a little dicier when you're running up front for the top 3 and, someone realizes they don't have a car fast enough to do that. Then they're doing everything they can to stay up there.
Yeah, they're wheeling it big time.
They're wheeling it.
Watching these drivers work their way around. There's a good scrap right now there between Josh Green. I think he's fighting it out here right now as well. This is that battle coming down through the kettle bottoms. We've changed things around a little bit here. The Juncos Hollinger cars coming on here midway through the race. Reese Gold and Anam Ahmed putting a lot of pressure on the guys in front of them. Eves, as we know, out front with a 2.1 second lead. Oh, big run to the inside of Billy Mitchell. Someone almost right over top of our cam there. Let's do a re-rack when they come out of turn 14. We'll give you the full field rundown as we're past the halfway point now. Lap 10 in the books, 2/3 of the way to go. 5 laps remaining. Braden Eves, your leader, by 1.9 seconds. Miller, 0.3 quicker. Starting to close up on Braden Eves a little bit. Anam Ahmed's worked his way up to 3rd. He's got by his teammate, Reese Gold. Ahmed pushing very hard here. Gold 4th. Josh Green 5th. Nolan Siegel runs in 6th spot. Kaminsky in 7th. Eighth right now is Yuvan Sundermurthy. Ninth is Louis Foster. 10th, Jonathan Brown. But, man, you look at fast laps being laid down right now, Eric. It is Jack William Miller in that red Miller Vinatieri Motorsports with Exclusive Autosports number 40. This kid's on the move right now. He's got it down to 1.95 to go. 0.3 quicker. Needs a little bit more to potentially reel up on Eves.
You know, the concern in the back of my mind, though, is if you look at who started on the front row of race number 1, and then we had the mixed conditions, and they both faded and made mistakes in that race in round 1. But Ahmed and Gold were really lights out in that Q1 session for race 1. We know that those Juncos Hollinger cars are fast this weekend.
Yeah, they've got great racecraft here for the drivers and a great platform. Juncos Hollinger have always been good here at Road America, and we're seeing a good battle here now for the final position on the podium. I'll tell you this, Anam Ahmed, I went and chatted with he and Reese Gold yesterday. This guy wants a win so bad. He goes, I just need that first victory. And Michael, talk about that, man. You started the season off, right? You came back to USF 2000 this year, having been the runner-up last year. You didn't get that win. I know it's kind of getting frustrated for you, right? You having good finishes. The points were there. But, man, how great was it to get that first victory on the season, to kind of get that behind you, right?
The first victory is always a huge moment in just any season. It really gets the ball rolling and it keeps the momentum up. But like when you're trying to get the win this late in the halfway point in the season, it's a little frustrating for the first half. It's like I still haven't gotten it yet. But as soon as you get it, everything seems to like kind of get the ball rolling for you. So when you go to tracks like St. Petersburg or Barber and you end up getting some wins there, it's easy to get the momentum and easy to keep up the confidence in the next few races. But Ahmed going for this win here is definitely going to be a huge game changer for him.
I don't know that he's going to get the win. I think he's potentially going to fight for the podium, but I'll tell you right now, we are not done yet here. I can see the look at Eric's face. I've worked with you enough. Jack William Miller, 1.6, another 0.3 of a second. We've got, 5 laps to go. We're almost to the point where he's not even in the draft yet. Wait till he gets to within a second. Jack William Miller potentially going for his first race win.
Well, in considering a little bit of tire strategy, we don't know what they're each on, but you could have a little bit of tire fall off for Braden Eves here, towards the later stages of this race with 5 to go. Kind of depends on what choice they made for their Cooper rubber.
Indeed, we talked about that before. You never know where they are tire-wise. 3 sets of tires for Indy Pro 2000 over the weekend here. Does somebody save a set of tires to work their way back forward? Eves leading now by 1.6 seconds, but the gap shrinking lap after lap. Jack William Miller putting his head down. Look at the big gap. There's first and second. There's a huge gap back. It's 7.2 seconds. Now back to third. There's the number 6 of Salvador de Alba. Is he actually in that position? He's not, the transponder obviously not picking up. Let's see if De Alba indeed running in that third position right now.
Yeah, notice that I was going to make a comment that we hadn't seen him pop through on the top of the charts here, but that would certainly make sense if they lost the transponder in that car.
Yeah, indeed. Just got an update from Tammy Valkoski, our Director of Communications, telling me that the transponder not working for De Alba. So Ahmed 4th, Gold 5th. Reset it with Salvador de Alba. The J. Howard Driver Development guys have done a good job with their Indy Pro 2000 cars here this weekend. So it's actually de Alba who on live timing is being shown with no laps. Transponder not working. He's running P3 right now, and we talked about this yesterday. This is a guy who is learning. We had Steve Whittick in here with us. NASCAR Mexico driver, Super Copa driver, a lot of big stock car racing down in Mexico. He is getting a feel for this car and really started to come on. To me, midway through the season, he's the driver who has improved the most from the start of the season.
I would agree, and obviously that win, middle of the season, for him, starting 12th, obviously had all the chaos that ensued because of that, but that got him into that position. But you've got to be in the position to capitalize on those moments.
Indeed.
And he's certainly done that, and he's had a great weekend here at Road America.
He has. I talked about it with him yesterday, just getting quicker and quicker. So De Alba running in third. You see the 2 Juncos drivers right behind him, Anam Ahmed and Reese Gold. Josh Green running in that 5th spot. Siegel 7th, Sundermurthy in 8th, Kaminsky 9th, Brown 10th, Wyatt Brakacic now go up into the 10th spot. Louis Foster, yesterday's winner, 3 straight victories, mired back in 12th position right now. Not the way Foster was trying to end this weekend at Road America.
No, and obviously chasing a points championship. Reese Gold running in that top 5 right now. That's a little bit of a point swing, and you kind of felt a little bit of that for yourself in race 1, Michael. With kind of just trying to get what you could to finish up that race 1.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes when you get given the short end of the stick, you gotta kind of just put it behind you and do the best that you can to make up for it. But I mean,
here's my question: how long did it take? Because obviously you're annoyed, you're mad. You had the incident in race number 1. How long did it take for you to really put it behind you? I love you say, "Well, I put it behind me. I come back to the next race." You literally race 3 hours later. How long did it take for you to say, "You know what? Race 1 is done. I start at pole. I got to go to work."
Half the 3 hours, so an hour and a half.
Literally.
Yeah, I was.
You're stewing.
I was still turning in the mind.
Yeah, you got to process it, right? It's not something you can just shut off, right? You have to go through it. Now, Cape Motorsports, obviously, juggernauts of USF 2000. They've won so many championships. They expect race wins. They expect championships, but they're also pro guys, right? Dominic and Nicholas.
For sure.
Right?
Yeah.
So,
I think they're the best of the best, and that's why I'm racing with them. This is going to be my third full year with Cape Motorsports, and they know what they're doing. They've got it all down, and I mean,
did they give you time, or did they 'cause I know they're pretty hardcore about it. They were like, "Suck it up, we're going racing," or did they give you some time by yourself?
I mean, they're pretty supportive.
Okay.
I mean, they definitely are. I mean, I'll get back, and if I make a mistake, then there's a pretty stern talking to back in the data room.
I like it.
But yeah, I mean, they're understanding. They know that if I'm happy, that I drive better. And I just realized that Miller's 4/10 up on.
I was gonna say,
he's headed over to Little Elkhart Lake with the fishing pole in hand because he's reeling him in.
Well, dude, really? I like it.
Yeah,
Let's dig in here because we have 3 laps to go, and Jack William Miller has been the fastest driver on the racetrack, a 2:04.8 a couple of laps ago, 2:04.9, 0.3 of a second a lap. He's 9/10 back with 3 to go. That sets him right on the gearbox on the final circuit. Jack William Miller, and again, this is the deal for Jack, has not yet won on the road to Indy. A number of podiums here coming through USF 2000. Started as a 14-year-old a number of years ago. A single car effort for a number of years. Now working with Exclusive Autosport in a technical alliance. This has given him the access to sit down with the data guys, the engineers at Exclusive Autosport, sitting down, going over the data with Louis Foster. He is now 9/10 of a second back, and the draft is going to start to play pretty soon. 2 laps to go this time by. Jack William Miller looking to potentially reel in the leader, Braden Eves, and we know that the Miller family listening back home in Indiana. Can the kid get it done here today? It's 1.4 seconds. Big lap there for Braden Eves. Maybe a little bobble for Jack William Miller. He falls down to a 2:05.4.
Exit of 14, it looked like he kind of slipped up a little bit, where he was right within 4 or 5 car lengths, but that gap has certainly expanded. Looked like he had a little bit of a run onto the rumble strips out of 14, and that really hurt the exit.
Yeah, pushing, right?
We talk a little bit of having a little bit more horsepower with these cars. Michael, they're still momentum-based cars. I mean, obviously your cars are a little bit more momentum-based, keeping up that high speed on the exit of the corner like that.
I mean, yeah, they're definitely momentum-based, but I mean, for a track like this with long straightaways, you really want to focus on getting on that power before you go down the straight, because the earlier you get on the power, it's just exponential. You just gain a whole bunch of time down the straight.
Yeah, it's the word I use all the time because people say, "Well, I'm trying to make the straightaway longer. I'm going deeper into the braking zone." It's better to brake early, slow in, fast out. The earlier on the throttle, you said exponential. That's what, the earlier on the throttle, the more top speed you're going to have at the end of the straightaway.
Yeah, for sure. I mean,
hold on. We got a driver 4 wheels off. Deeper back. 4 wheels off. Let's see who that was. Potentially coming down into turn number 8. Colin Kaminsky, I think, off on the exit of turn number 7. That's pretty easy to do.
Yeah, I mean, turn number 7 is not an easy corner at all. I mean, with the faster you go, the harder it gets. And, I mean, yeah, they have a little bit more downforce than the USF car, but you're holding the car there. You're going through, and actually, it's a little harder than the kink.
Really?
Yeah, it is.
Interesting.
You get up over the curb a little bit and you get a little sideways. You're going wheels off.
You're cutting some grass.
Yeah.
Final laps right now. This is the battle here. Anam Ahmed trying to find his way by Salvador de Alba. If you're watching live timing, you're not seeing Salvador. He's having an issue with the transponder. That's the battle for the final position on the podium. Ahmed pushing here on Salvador de Alba, but it'll be the final lap here for Braden Eves as he'll come across the line. Miller a 10th quicker, 1.3 back. It looks like Braden's going to be able to hold this one to the end. We did have a run there for Jack William Miller over the last couple of laps. A little bobble on lap number 13. And again, Eves down into turn number 3. Eric, pretty solid there, probably about maybe 10, 11 car lengths. Eves, like I said, if you give him the lead, this is the guy that really doesn't ever give it up.
And you got to wonder a little bit if Miller was pushing so hard there to kind of put a little bit too much heat into the rears a little bit and have a little bit less grip on corner exit.
You want the win so bad, right? He hasn't had a win yet. He's had a bunch of podiums, like I said, really kind of stepping things up. And listen, we're halfway through the lap. Michael, you know it, right? You want that win so bad. Sometimes you make that little bobble because you're just pushing so hard.
I mean, yeah. I mean, we're all human, right? So I mean, it's not like the harder you work a program that's just gonna do it more. I mean, we make mistakes. So when you're pushing for that win, and you can get it, and it's in arm's reach, that you might end up making a mistake along the way, and it's just trying to lessen those mistakes and make sure that you run a super consistent race just to get up to the front like that. And then Braden's been doing that very well. And you can see Miller every now and then too, in going in this last lap, going into turn 3, he dropped the wheel on the going in. But I mean, Miller's doing a fantastic job this race. How many spots?
It's the variable.
Yeah.
It's the variable, right? It's the human part of motorsports. Yeah, we see these great race cars, but there's a driver there between, that spongy thing between the steering wheel and the seat. Final lap here, final couple of corners for Braden Eves. This will be big for Braden to get that first win of 2022. A big win as well for Jay Howard Driver Development, who won the championship last year with Christian Rasmussen. Out of the final corner, turn 14. He got the job done here, folks, from New Albany, Ohio. The winner at Road America, race number 2 for Indy Pro 2000. Braden Eves coming home with the victory, chased a race long by Jack William Miller. The gap 1.2 at the line. Braden Eves with the win. The Jay Howard crew right up there onto the wall. And first and third as well, Eric, for Jay Howard Driver Development. Eves with the win, Miller second. Salvador de Alba coming across the line, I believe, to finish in that third spot. Anam Ahmed in fourth, Reese Gold fifth, and Josh Green starting from pole. A solid run. Would like to have had the win, but a sixth-place finish still good for Josh.
Absolutely. And Michael, you've been on the struggle bus a few times. That first win of the season, or first win of your career, just after trying so hard, you know that Braden Eves has just there's a momentary release right after the start-finish line.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I saw it when he just went by here. He just picked off the throttle. He's like, yes, finally.
I did it.
He's done.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, let's while we have the time, let's go right into your seat.
All right.
You come across the line. You won yesterday. After, of course, the disappointment from race number 1 earlier in the day, what are the emotions from a driver? Is it relief? Is it celebration? Or is there that little, my goodness, I finally won one, or I was able to get the victory?
I'm a celebrating guy.
Are you?
Yeah, I go by, I'm hanging out, my hand out the top over the halo. I'm like, yeah, let's go. But, I mean, this is actually my first win at any track other than Lucas Oil Mid-Ohio. In USF 2000.
Really?
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah, you're back-to-back winner of the Freedom 75. This guy's got the ovals handled. Excited about next year potentially going oval racing 2 times, Worldwide Technology Raceway and Indy Pro?
Oh, that would be fantastic. I'd love to go to Gateway. The track looks so fun.
Michael D'Orlando, thank you so much for joining us, buddy. We appreciate it. Your point leader in USF 2000 joining us here in the booth. There's your unofficial results. Braden Eves, P1. Jack William Miller in second. And again, Anam Ahmed actually finishing in, I believe, the third spot. Salvador de Alba up into P3. No transponder, but a great run for de Alba.
Yeah, absolutely. And we didn't get a chance to talk about him a lot because we didn't realize that he was up into the mix because of the transponder issue. And obviously where we are here at VIP, we've only got a very short slice of visibility. But it's hard not to talk about Braden Eves and Jack William Miller. That drive for Miller from, 4th row pretty impressive as well.
Big time for him. And how about Anam Ahmed? Started dead last, gets himself up to fourth, battling it out with Day Alba for the final position. I think Anam's going to be really happy with that.
That's going to be a good points day for them, too. Just, again, a confidence booster and a builder in himself.
He salvaged it. Literally
absolutely.
could have been a horrible day for him. Foster down in 12th. That blows everything wide open. 3 straight wins for Louis Foster. Ends up P12 in the final race, tightening everything up, heading to Mid-Ohio.
Yeah, points going into Mid-Ohio is going to be fun. Can't wait.
Eric, got to head down to Victory Lane right now. I appreciate it. Always great working with you again. So Victory Lane, next up, Eves, Miller, and De Alba on the podium in Indy Pro 2000.
All right, race fans, time to celebrate the Indy Pro 2000 presented by Cooper Tires. Rob Howden on the victory podium.
Thank you so much, Eric. Our final podium of the weekend here, Indy Pro 2000. Again, this event brought to you by Elite Engines, and we have our guests from Elite Engines to help pass out the hardware here today. What a battle we had in this race. Of course, the leader's able to stretch away, but the fight for third was an epic one for sure. A driver, as we talked about in the race, who continues to step things up. What a great midseason run so far, folks. Put your hands together for the driver coming home third place today for J. Howard Driver Development, Salvador De Alba. Salvador from Mexico, tremendous run. Kristen is going to help us out, bringing our hardware in here. P3 for Salvador De Alba, a winner early in the season, but this guy is coming on here midway through the schedule. Salvador De Alba finishing in the second position. The fight for the race win started to get exciting as this driver stepped things up over the last couple of laps. A strong run to the podium. He had one as well at Indianapolis and gets one here at Road America. Folks, for Miller Vinatieri Motorsports with exclusive Autosport, second place today, Jack William Miller. Great run for Jack William Miller. Paige will bring our trophy in here. Another podium for Jack, put the pressure on big time. But as I said in the broadcast, you don't want to let this guy, the car that's sitting down here, you don't want to let him get a lead because he rarely ever loses a lead. A big day here as well for J. Howard Driver Development. 2 drivers on the podium, folks. A round of applause. Our former USF 2000 champion and winner today, Braden Eves. Braden, we talked about the fact how crucial it is to win and to get this victory now midway through the season. Big for you guys. Back with J. Howard Driver Development, the win is always crucial.
Yeah, it's been a tough year, but just the team just did a fantastic job this weekend. I love coming here. This is one of the best places we come. The fans are always amazing here. Thanks to the series for putting on a great show. I'm so happy to get the win. We really needed that for the points, so just stoked and yeah, I'm ecstatic.
How good was that race car? You got out front, and I've seen this many times before in your career. You get out front, and you just jetted away. It looks like it was absolutely perfect.
Yeah, the car was just absolutely amazing. As soon as the race started, I knew that I had a really good shot at the win. I was able to get the lead, and then the guys kind of started battling behind me, and I just kind of got a pretty big gap and just kind of managed that. So, hats off to the team. Did a fantastic job, and happy to get the win here today.
Who else do you want to thank?
Want to thank all my sponsors, Dog Market, Coastal Local Seafood, Addison Holdings LLC, Community Choice Financial, Meyer Shank Racing, obviously the team, J. Howard Driver Development. Hats off to all of them.
Braden mentions the fans, guys. Give it up for him. Braden Eves, winner today in Indy Pro 2000. Let's get that trophy in here. Hannah will help us out, bringing the P1 trophy. And again, Braden's won a lot of races here on the road to Indy, a former USF 2000 champion. And to get the victory here at Road America, so crucial for him to fight his way back into the championship. Yet another winner in our Indy Pro 2000 class. Remember, folks, you're getting ready to watch the NTT IndyCar Series drivers. This is where they come from. Pato O'Ward, multi-time winner in this Indy Pro 2000 class. Renus VK as well. Guys that have worked their way through. Kyle Kirkwood, of course, a champion here in Indy Pro as well. This is the future of the NTT IndyCar Series right here in Indy Pro 2000. And they are showing you what they can do. And what a fantastic race that was. As Braden said, he got out front. They battled behind him. But as I detailed, man, I've had a chance to watch Braden over the last decade, and you put that guy out front, he very rarely makes a mistake. You do not want to let him get into the lead. Jack William Miller put his head down, tried to reel him in, but the bottom line is Eves did not put a wheel wrong. We'll cap off things here for the road to Indy, folks. Time to celebrate with the champagne, boys. Let her rip. Champagne flying here in Victory Lane. De Alba, a multi-time winner in the NASCAR Mexico Series and Super Copa. He knows how to spray the champagne. Yeah. Hey, Braden, how is it in the eyes? Not so good? the teammates at J. Howard Driver Development. Guys, you're down here in Victory Lane one more time. A round of applause. My winners here in Indy Pro 2000. Braden Eves with the win. Jack William Miller to second. And Salvador de Alba rounding out the top three. It's been a great weekend here at Road America. We love coming to America's National Park of Speed. Thank you so much for spending time with us here with this Road to Indy. Eric Miller, great to work with you. And again, thank you for tuning in, all of you, on Road to Indy TV. My name's Rob Howden. Bye for now.